Hello everybody, welcome back to another AP Calculus ABC lesson. This is 2.8, the product rule. Let's get started. So this lesson is going to allow us to find the derivative of a product, right? So if we have the derivative of V and U, to find that derivative of the product, we're going to do V U prime plus U V prime. Okay. I'm actually gonna switch this around. So product of UV. Okay. And so number one, we're gonna identify our U's and our V's. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at making them different. It's kind of tricky. But yeah, so we're gonna take sine x as our V and 2x minus 3 as our U. So our f prime is going to be V times U prime. Derivative of 2x minus 3. Derivative of 2x minus 3 is just going to be 2. Okay. Plus, then we're going to write parentheses there, right? Plus U. So our U is 2x minus 3. V prime. Our sine x is V. So the derivative of sine x is cosine x. So our final answer is 2 sine x plus 2x minus 3 cosine x. And we're going to do that exact same thing for every question, right? We're going to identify our v, our u, and we're going to apply the formula. Okay. So e to the x is going to be our v. 2x cubed is going to be our u. So our formula, right? This time we have g. So g prime of x equals v e to the x u prime. So derivative of u of 2x cubed is 6x squared plus u v prime. Derivative of e to the x is e to the x. And so we can leave it like that, or we can factor out an e to the x, but I'll show you how you can do that. So e to the x and then 6x squared plus 2x cubed. But g prime of x equals e to the x times 6x squared plus 2x cubed times e to the x. It's the same thing. Here I just factored out, but you don't have to do that additional step. Okay, next problem. H of x equals 4 times square root of x times ln x. So ln x is going to be v. 4 times square root of x is our u. Okay, h prime of x equals v times u prime. Derivative of square root of x is 1 over 2 square root of x, right? So 1 over 2 square root of x. And then we have the constant 4, right? Plus u, which is 4 square root of x, times derivative of v, so v prime, which is going to be 1 over x, equals ln x times, okay, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2 over square root of x plus 4 square root of x over x. And of course, I could manipulate that, but I'm not going to, because this answer, how it is right now, it's fine. Okay. F of x equals 4 minus 5x times cosine x. So v and u. Our derivative is going to be v, which is cosine x, times u prime. Derivative of 4 minus 5x is negative 5. Okay, plus u times v prime. Derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. And so our answer is going to be negative 5 cosine x minus 4 minus 5x sine x. Okay. Next question. G of x equals 6 ln x times sine x. So v u prime, right? V, and then we have our u. So g prime of x is v u prime. So sine x, it's the derivative of 6 ln x. It's going to be 6 over x plus 6 ln x times v prime, which is going to be cosine x. And so we get 6 sine x over x plus 6 ln x. That is terrible. Plus 6 ln x cosine x. Okay, next one. H of x equals 2e to the x times x squared plus x. So I'm going to try to write smaller because I'm starting to run out of space. Okay, so this is v, this is u. V times u prime. So u prime is going to be 2e to the x, and then plus u v prime. So derivative of x squared plus x is 2x plus 1. So then that equals, and then we're going to factor out 2e to the x squared plus x plus 2x plus 1. Okay. Question 7. We have f of x equals 8 sine of x times cosine x. So cosine is going to be v, 8 sine x is our u. So f prime of x equals v u prime. Derivative of 8 sine x is 8 cosine x plus u, 8 sine x, times derivative of v, which is derivative of cosine, is a negative sine. So we get 8 cosine square x minus 8 sine squared x. Okay, next we have g of x equals 3 over x times ln x. So same thing. Have our u, we have our v. G prime of x. So v u prime, right? V ln x times u prime. Remember that if you have constant over x, the derivative of that will be that constant, but negative over x squared. So this 3 over x becomes negative 3 over x squared plus u v prime. So derivative of ln x is 1 over x. So we get ln x times negative 3 over x squared plus 3 over x squared. Okay. Next we have h of x equals 2x to the 5th cosine x. So we have, again, our u. It's starting to look less like a u every time, it feels like. we have our u and our v. H prime of x equals u. It's equal to v u prime. So derivative of 2x to the fifth is 10x to the fourth plus u v prime. Derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. And so we get 10x to the fourth cos x minus 2x to the fifth sine x. Okay, and our last one is going to be f of x equals e to the x sine x. So we get f prime of x equals, and v is sine x, u is e to the x. So v times u prime plus u times v prime equals e to the x sine x plus cosine x. And there we go. Okay. Next questions, we have some tables, and we're giving some functions, and we're going to find the derivative using product rules and evaluate at that point. All right. 11. So we have a table with our x value and f prime, g, and g of x. Let's look at letter A. H of t equals f of x times g of x. Find h prime of 7. So first, to find h prime of 7, we need h prime of x. So h prime of x. Then again, we're going to use product rule. So g of x is going to be u, f of x is going to be v. So I accidentally made them the opposite. So g of x is v, f of x is u. It doesn't really matter and for product rule because you're just adding, right? So anywho, v u prime times f prime of x plus f, which is our u, times v prime, which is g prime of x. And we're going to evaluate this derivative at x equals 7. Luckily, we only have one x value, so we don't really need to look like at multiple rows. So g of 7 is going to be 2 times f prime of 7, so times 3, plus f of 7, which is negative 5, times g prime of 7, which is negative 3. So equals 6. And then negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. And so our answer is going to be 21. Next, m of x equals f times f of x times g of x. So we have to find m prime of 7. Okay, same thing, right? So v u. So m prime of x. v u prime. So times 5 f prime of x plus 5 f of x times g prime of x equals g of 7 is 2 times 5 times f prime of 7, so times 3, plus 5 times f of 7, which is negative 5, times g prime of 7, negative 3, equals 2 times 5 times 3 is 30. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25, times negative 3 is plus 75, which is 105. S of x equals 3 of x minus 1 times g of x plus 2. So we have to find the derivative. This is going to be v. This is going to be u. So I'm going to write really small here. S prime of x equals u. It's not very clear, is it? Equals g of x plus 2 times u prime, so 3f prime of x plus u times v prime, so g of x. So s prime of 7 equals g of 7 2 and then plus 2. That's why it's important to write neat, which is not what I did. Okay, times 3 times f prime. So f prime of 7 is 3, so 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 3 times f of x. F of 7 is -5, so 3 times -5 is -15 minus 1 times g prime of 7, -3. So 2 plus 2 is 4 times 9 plus, and then -15 minus 1 is -16 times -3. 4 times 9 is 36. -16 times -3 is plus 48. And that's going to give us 84. Okay, wonderful. Next question. So again, we have table with one t value this time. So it should be fairly simple to find our derivative. So we're going to do b of t as v, a of t as u. F prime of t is v u prime. So b of t times a prime of t plus u, so a of t, times v prime, so b prime of t. So erase this. Alright, f prime of -4, so b of -4 is -4 times a prime of -4, so times -3 plus a of -4, so 2 times b prime of t. So okay, there you go. Equals 12 minus, plus 2, and we get 14. Okay, next one we have g of t equals -3 a of t b of t. So we're going to label v and u. So vu prime, so b of t times -3 a prime of t times, plus -a3 of t. I'm gonna leak over into the next question. I'm gonna rewrite this to make it look neater. Okay, and then last of all we have v prime. It's going to be b prime of t. Okay, evaluated at -4, we have b of -4, so that's -4 times -3 times a prime, so -3 times -3 plus -3 times a of t, which is times 2, times b prime of t, which is 1, equals -4 times 9 plus, looks to be -6, so Negative 36 minus 6 equals negative 42. All right. Make sure to pause if you still need to write this down because I'm going to erase. Okay. Next question, we have h of t equals 1 minus a of t times 3b of t plus 2. Okay. So v u. So h prime of t equals v. Whoops. Now I mean to put parentheses around b. So 3b of t plus 2 times u prime. That's sloppy. Okay, much better. Plus a 1 minus a of t times 3b prime of t, right? Okay. Now we plug in. So 3 times b of t is going to be negative 12, and then plus 2. Negative a prime of t is going to be negative 3. So 3 plus 1 minus a of t, so 1 minus 2. So it's negative 1 times 3 b prime of t. B prime is 1, so 3 times 1 is 3. Simplify it. Negative 12 plus 2 is negative 10. Negative 10 times negative 10 times 3 is negative 30. Plus negative 1 times 3 is minus 3 equals negative 33. Okay. And then we have one more set of table questions. So again, we only have one x value. We don't have to worry about that. Okay. A of t equals d of x times h of x. So h of x is v, d of x is u. So a prime of t equals vu prime plus uv prime. V u prime plus u v prime. H of x is 4 times d prime of x is negative 2 plus u, so plus d is negative 3 times h prime of x, so 3. So negative 8 plus negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. So we get negative 17. Okay. Next we have b of x equals negative d of x times h of x. So this is going to be v, this is going to be u. B prime of x equals v u prime plus u 8 v prime. Okay. H of x is 4. Negative d prime of x is negative 2, so it's going to be positive 2 plus negative dx, so plus 3 times h prime of x, just 3. So our answer is going to be 17, positive this time. Okay. Last one, we have c of x equals 2 minus d of x over 2 times 6 minus hx. So this is going to be v, and this is going to be u. So c prime of x equals v. That is just terrible. Okay. Times u prime. So that's going to be negative 1/2 d prime of x plus 2 minus d of x over 2 times 6 times v prime. So no 6 there. It's just going to be negative h prime of x. Okay, so we're going to find this at the point 1. So 6 minus h of x is going to be 6 minus 4. Negative 1/2. So times d prime of x. So d prime of x is negative 2. Negative 1/2 times negative 2 is going to be 1. And plus d of x is negative 3. So 2 minus negative 3 over 2. So that is 2 plus 3 over 2. So that is 2 plus 3 over 2. That's 3.5 or 7 over 2 times negative h prime of x. So times negative 3. So this is 2 minus 21 over 2. So this is going to be 4 over 4. So 4 over 2 minus 21 over 2. Negative 17 over 2. Okay. Next, we have tangent line questions. So at this point, you should be familiar with these kind of questions. I'm not going to rewrite the formula. Okay. We're going to find our function value. So f of x equals h sine x cosine x at x equals 3. So f of pi over 3 is equal to 8 sine pi over 3 cosine pi over 3 equals 8. Sine pi over 3, 643, that's going to be square root of 3 over 2. Times cosine of pi over 3, which is going to be 1 over 2. So 2 times 2 is going to be 4. So 8 times square root of 3, and that becomes 2 square root of 3. Now we find f prime of x. So cosine is our u. Sorry, I keep like mixing these up. So cosines are v, sines are u. So v u prime. So 8 cosine x plus u v prime equals 8 cosine squared x minus 8 sine squared x. F prime of pi over 3. So we know that cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. And all we're doing is raising that to the second power. So square 1/2, you get 1/4. Okay, minus 8 times sine of pi over 3 is square root of 3 over 2. So square root of 3 over 2 to the second power is 3 over 4. 8 times 1 over 4 is 2. 8 times 3 over 4 is 24 over 4, which is 6. So that is going to be 2 minus 6 equals negative 4. So y equals y1 minus 4 times x minus x1. Okay, next question. We're going to find our function value at g of 0. G of 0 is going to be 0, right? Because plug in 0 into x, you get 0. G prime of x. So this is v u prime. Okay. V u prime. So v u prime plus u v prime. So that's going to equal negative 2e to the x minus 2x e to the x. G prime of 0 equals negative 2 minus 0, right? E to the 0 is 1, negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, and then 2x, 2 times 0 is 0. So now, right, y equals y1 plus negative 2x minus x1. So y equals negative 2x. Okay. (16) Test prep. Let f be a differentiable function with f of 2 equals 7 and f prime of 2 equals negative 2. Let g be the function defined by g of x equals x squared times f of x. Which of the following was an equation of the tangent line to the graph of g at x equals 2? Okay. So, we have line tangent at x equals 2 of g, not f, of g. And some important points right here. Okay, so we have some information, but we need to find g of 2 and g prime of 2. We have our x1, right? So let's find our g of 2. G of 2 equals 2 squared and then f of 2. So that's going to be 4 times f of 2. We know that f of 2 is 7. So 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, cool. Next we have g prime of x. So f is going to be v. X squared is going to be u. So v u prime plus u v prime. So g prime of 2 equals f of 2 times 4 plus 4 f prime of x. F of 2 is 7 times 4 plus 4 times f prime, which is negative 2. 28 minus 8 equals 20. So that is our slope. So y equals y1 plus slope times x minus 2. Alright, let's look at A. That's obviously wrong. Let's look at B. So 20x minus 2. Okay, that's fine. And then notice that all of these problems have their y1 on the left side. So move the 28 to the left side, and we get B as our answer. Can't be C, right? This is wrong. And it can't be E. That has the wrong slope. Can't be D either. Has the wrong y1. Okay. Next question. The figure to the right shows the graph of f prime, the derivative of f. The function f is twice differentiable with f of 3 equals negative 1. Let g be the function defined by g of x equals 4x times 4 of times f of x. Find an equation for the line tangent to the graph of g at x equals 3. So graph of g, tangent line, and we have this equation as well as this information. It's the graph of f prime. Okay, tangent line. We need g of 3 and g prime of 3. G of 3 equals 4 times 3, that's 12, and then times f of 3. F of 3 is negative 1. So, and hold on. I don't know what that was, but it should be 12 times f of 3. I guess it doesn't look like an f. Okay. So 12 times -1 is -12. Okay. Now we need g prime. G prime of x equals, and then vu, right? So v is going to be f u prime is going to be 4 plus u v prime. G prime of 3 equals f of 3 times 4 plus 12 times f prime of 3. F of 3 is -1 times 4, right? Plus 12 times f prime of 3. F prime of 3. We have the graph of f prime, so at 3, f prime is going to be 2. So plus 12 times 2. So you get -4 plus 24. And so we get 20. So y equals y1 plus 20 x minus x1. The graphs of f and g are shown to the right. If h of x equals 4 times f of x times g of x equals, okay, then h prime of 1 equals, okay, so we need h prime of x. We have f and g graph, so h prime of x equals, and then g is going to be v. For f of x is going to be u. V u prime plus u v prime. So h prime of 1 equals g of 1 times f prime of 1 plus f of 1 times g prime of 1. G of 1 is -1. We're looking at the graph, right? Times 4 times f prime of 1. So f prime of 1, we're going to have to look at the average rate of change, right? We're going to look at the slope of f of x. And since it's linear, we can easily calculate. So we're going to do y2 minus y1, right? Let's take this point right here and this point right here. So y2 minus y1, we have 3 minus 6 over 6 minus 0 equals -3 over 6 equals -1/2. That's going to be f prime of x. So that is going to be, so -1 times 4 times f prime of 1. So we figured out f prime of 1 is -1/2. So I'm going to multiply by -1/2. And then plus, oh, I added a 4, by the way, in front of the f of x. I kind of forgot to do that before. So plus 4 times f of 1. F of 1 seems to be 5.5 times g prime of 1. So we have to find the average rate of change again. So this time of g. So I'm going to use this point and this point. y2 minus y1, right? So y2 minus y1. So minus -1 over 3 minus 1. 3 minus -1 is 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. So g prime of x is 2. -1 times 4, -4 times -1/2 plus. So 4 times 5.5. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 0.5 is 2. 20 plus 2 is 22. And then times 2. -4 times -1/2 is 2. 22 times 2 is 44. 2 plus 44 is 46. So answer is E. Alright, last question. The graphs of two differentiable functions f and g are shown below. Given h of x equals f of x times g of x, which of the following statements about h prime of 3 is true? So taking a look at our answer choices, we have h prime of 3, some kind of inequality, and then d is undefined, and then E says that there's not enough information. Alright, well, what do we have? Two graphs. We have a graph of f and the graph of g. Okay, let's try finding h prime of x. So h prime of x is going to be, we're going to use product rule, right? So VU is going to be VU prime plus UV prime. Okay, well, what do we know? Well, we need h prime of 3, right? So let's try plugging things in. Okay, we know g of 3, right? Because it's given. G of 3 is right here. So g of 3 is negative 1. Negative 1 times f prime of 3. So f prime of 3 is going to be the average rate of change, approximately, right? So right here. So the slope of the tangent line is negative at f prime of 3. And so f prime of 3 is some negative number. I'm going to leave that as neg. Okay. So negative 1 times neg plus f of 3. F of 3 is 0. So we can ignore this part, right? Because 0, g prime won't matter since it's a 0, right? So negative 1 times a negative number is going to be positive. And so that leads us to conclude that h prime of 3 is some positive number. So h prime of 3 is greater than 0. It's as easy as that. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was insightful. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. And yeah, take care.